The Steam summer sale ended a few days ago, and like millions of PC gamers, I spent hours looking through discounts, only to realize I already owned more games than I could finish in years. So instead of talking about what I bought, I want to talk about what happens after every Steam sale. You know, a major Steam sale is going to happen every summer and winter. And I was awaiting over 100 notifications from my wish list the moment that the Steam sale started. I spent hours on my phone going through my wish list at work looking at all the games that I was planning on purchasing. And then once I got home, I opened up Steam on my computer and I was going through all the different categories trying to find some hidden gems. And of course, there's always going to be some really good games that are on sale for like 90% off that are available for like under $2 that you know you can sink over 80 hours into. So, of course, the Steam sale is a lot of fun to go through and just find some hidden gems, go through your wish list, and debate buying games that you have been thinking about picking up for a long time. I ended up picking up Castle Crashers for like a dollar. I picked up Plague Evolved just because I wanted to try that style of game. And then I picked up Mass Effect Legendary Edition for $7. And that gave me three different Mass Effect games that I'll probably be able to sink about 30 hours each into. But I definitely realized that I've been going through the same cycle every single Steam sale. I get a whole bunch of notifications about games that are on sale. I spend about $150 on games. And then I have the same guilt that I have always had. I've got a massive Steam library, yet I have no time to actually play all of these games. And honestly, what has happened is I've always gravitated towards the same comfort games. I go and play Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on my Steam deck because it's easy and I know what to expect. I play Rocket League or Battlefield 6 with my friends because I can kind of just shut my brain off, try to get immersed and just play this multiplayer game where I don't really have to think at all. As you can see, I'm definitely guilty of trying to play too many games at once. Right now in my playing tab, I have Battlefield 6, Bloons Tower Defense 6, Dead by Daylight, Elden Ring Night Rain, Gamble with Your Friends, Icarus, KCD 2, Plague Inc. Evolved, and Warhammer Space Marine 2. So basically what I'm doing is I'm stretching myself way too thin to actually make progress on just a couple games. And what tends to happen every single night is I sit there and I just debate what to play for like 45 minutes before I actually commit to a game for that evening. And by the time I'm finally getting into the game, I have to get off and go to bed. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about why achievement hunting helps. If you watched any of my previous videos, you would know that achievement hunting helps me commit to games. I use my achievement completion percentage as a way to gauge how far I am into the game. And this has really allowed me to just get the most time out of my games. An example of this would be BioShock 2. During my playthrough of BioShock 2, I had to play the game twice, once to complete the game on hard mode, and then another time to complete the game on easy and get all collectibles. Now, if I wasn't going for achievements, I definitely would have launched this game on normal difficulty, played through it once to get the story, and then probably dropped the game. So by going for achievements, I allowed myself to get about double the playtime in BioShock 2 Remastered as I otherwise would have. There's definitely a ton of drawbacks when it comes to using achievement percentage as a way to gauge your completion in a game, but ultimately it will allow you to get more hours out of your game. In addition to that, it's also just going to allow you to experience more of the games you're playing. And it can also just give you a clear path when you're not sure what to play. You already know when you get home from work that you're coming home and you're going to launch a specific game. Now, these are sort of the guidelines and my own philosophy on how I'm handling this situation. It's not that I want to stop buying games, because I do still enjoy buying and playing new games. But at the same time, I just want every purchase to feel intentional. What that means is I'm only going to be buying a game if I intend to play it in the immediate future and it's filling a hole that I currently have in my backlog. I currently am using my Steam average game completion rate as my metric for how much progress I'm making on my backlog. And currently it's at about 58%. Now, I told myself I wasn't allowed to buy any games until I get to at least 65%. However, with the rules that I just talked about, I am willing to bend a little bit on this. So in my notes, I have a folder called games, and in there, I've got it separated on what I'm focusing on my PC, what I'm focusing on my Steam Deck, as well as a couple multiplayer or co-op games that I'm working on with friends. On my PC, I'm only focusing on one large game at a time, as well as one shorter or palette cleanser game. And on my Steam Deck, it's obviously going to be a completely different type of game that's just better suited for the Steam Deck, and I'm only focusing on one, maybe two games at a time. And for multiplayer games, this is where a game like Elden Ring Night Rain or Space Marine 2 are going to sit. They're games that I do want to make progress on, however, I'm handcuffed based on which one of my friends are online that day. In the same note file, I have a next up section where I have a couple games written down that are really pulling at me to play them. However, I'm not ready to drop the games that I'm currently playing to move on to them. What this allows me to do is build excitement for those next games while I continue to make progress on the games that I'm actively working on. Now, to wrap this video up, I wanted to highlight 3 games that I'm currently focusing on to finish before the next major Steam sale. The first game is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is a game that's been on my backlog for a long time, and I know how incredible of a game it is. And I say that as somebody who's probably put about 20 hours in the past 4 days into this game. I also plan on finally finishing the achievements for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I only have about 40 left, and I could really push through and get this done in a few days. And for the third and final game, I am really focused on Space Marine 2. It's a game that I am playing with a friend, but I'm also playing solo now as well, so I'll be able to wrap this game up pretty quick. So for me, the Steam sale isn't really about saving money. It's about deciding what game deserves my time. So I hope that with this video, I inspired somebody to actually focus on playing their games instead of just building a wish list and then making a game out of buying games. If you enjoy these type of videos, definitely subscribe for more similar content and let me know in the comment section which game that you picked up on the Steam sale and which games you're most excited about playing before the next one. See you later.